Hello dear students, as you all know we are doing chapter number 3 and in the last lecture I have told you that this chapter has been done theoretically. There are some selected NCERT numericals which are very important when we consider board examination. So let us go and solve some numericals today. Those numericals are from NCERT and they are very important if we talk about board examination. Okay. So let us solve one by one. The first question we are going to take is 3.5. What this question says, at room temperature 27 degrees Celsius, the resistance of heating element is 100 ohm. If this temperature is T0, the resistance of heating element is 100 ohm. What is the temperature of the element? If the resistance is found to be 117 ohm. If the resistance at temperature that T is found to be 117 ohm. Given that coefficient of the temperature coefficient of resistor material is, that is alpha, is 1.70 into 10 to the power minus 4 into 10 to the power minus 4 per degree Celsius. It is given. At T0 resistance is given. At some temperature resistance is given. Alpha is given. You have to find that T. What formula we are going to apply? We are going to apply R at temperature T is equal to R0 1 plus alpha T minus T0. Okay. So this is the formula. From this formula you need to get the value of T. So let us solve this for the T first of all. Let this R0 goes over there. It will become RT upon R0 is equal to 1 plus alpha. T is not known minus T0. What is that T0? Okay, let us take it as delta T. Delta T is your temperature difference, right? T minus T0, it will be temperature difference. Now, alpha into delta T is equal to R at temperature T minus R0 minus 1. Now that delta T is equal to RT upon R0 minus 1 whole upon alpha. Now put the values. Okay, what is the value of RT? 117. What is the value of R0? 100 minus 1. 1 upon alpha. What is alpha? Alpha is 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 4. 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 4. When we take LCM, when we solve it, it will become 17 upon 100 multiplied by 1.7. 10 to the power minus 4 is in the numerator, it will become 10 to the power 4. Now 1.7 will cut this 10 times, 10 will cut this 100 10 times, 10 will cut this power 4, so it will become 10 to the power 3. 10 to the power 3 is what? Your temperature difference. It could be in Kelvin, it could be in degree Celsius also. Because when we talk about temperature difference, it does not matter whether you take it in Kelvins or whether you take it in degree Celsius. The temperature difference is 10 to the power 3, that is 1000 degrees Celsius. 1000 degree Celsius. This is your delta T. Now what we have defined? We have said that delta T is equal to T minus T0. So T will be equal to delta T plus T0. What is the delta T? 1000. What is that T0? 27. So what we are going to have? 1027 degrees Celsius. This is the solution. Okay. It is not a very difficult question, but this relation is very important. Okay. In the syllabus it is being mentioned temperature dependence of resistance and resistivity. So basically this relation is very important. Because of this relation, this numerical becomes important. Otherwise there is nothing very difficult in this numerical. Right? So this was the question number 3.5. Now let us move ahead. The next question we are going to take is 3.8. What is the question? Question is a heating element using a nichrome connected to a 230 volt supply. Volt is 230 volt supply. Okay. Draws an initial current of 3.2 ampere. Draws an initial current of 3.2 ampere, which settles after a few seconds to a steady value of 2.8 ampere. Okay. Till what the question means? Question is a nichrome wire is there. When the supply just started, supplies of 230 voltage, it is applied across the ends of the wire. When current starts flowing in the wire, it was 3.2 ampere. But after few seconds, the current comes down and it settles to 2.8 ampere. Current decreases. What is the steady temperature of the heating element? What is the steady temperature? Means when the current was flowing this. Heating element. If the room temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. Earlier the wire is kept in room, so basically it was at room temperature. T1 is equal to 27 degrees Celsius. Temperature coefficient of nichrome over the range is involved. Alpha is given 1.70 into 10 to the power minus 4 degrees Celsius. This question is approximately the question same with what we have done right now, what we have done a few moments before. What is the difference only? In that question R1 and R2 was given, R0 and R2. Here that R need to be calculated. If this temperature, room temperature is considered naught, means T0, and this is your T, so basically I1. So R1 is going to be what? V upon I1, and R2 is going to be what? V upon I2. Formula will be R2 is equal to R1 in bracket 1 plus alpha T1 minus, T2 minus T1. So this is the formula what we are going to apply. You know all the values, right? You know all the values. You know R1, you know R2, you know alpha, you know T1. You need to get the value of T2. Further, this T2 minus T1 will be written as delta T. Try to get the value of delta T, then try to get the value of T2. I hope this question is very easy. Only the thing is, only a small trick is there. In place of R1, we need to put V upon I1. In place of R2, we need to put V upon I2. V and V will be cancelled out, 1 upon I1, 1 upon I2. I2 will be transferred this side. This question is easy. Okay, I hope you will be able to do. I'm not discussing it further. It can be a problem for you. It can be a home assignment for you. I'm leaving the calculations up to you. Okay, I have told the method. Let us move to the next question. Now let us solve question number 3.9. One circuit is given in the question. Let me draw the circuit with another ink. What that circuit looks like. It looks like this. Okay, one more resistance is there, this, and then one cell is there, one resistance is there. So this is how the circuit looks like. This resistance is of 10 ohm, this resistance is of 5 ohm, this resistance is of 5 ohm, this resistance is of 10 ohm, and this resistance is of 5 ohm, this is of 10 ohm, and this cell is of 10 voltage. What is the question? Question is, what is the current? Determine the current in each branch of the network shown in the figure. Means you need to calculate the current flowing in the branches. How many branches are there? Just try to count. How many branches are there? Try to count. 1. Let me name also. Let this point be A, this is B, one branch is your AB. Let this be C, one branch is BC. Let this be D, one branch is CD, one branch is BD. How many branches are there? 5. Okay, 5 in this only. And one more branch is there, which consists the cell. So this is basically 6 branches are there. 6 values of current need to be calculated, right? Okay, let us solve. Let total current flowing from here be I. Okay, total current flowing from here be I. The current I comes at this junction and it will divide. If this current is assumed to be I1, then this current needs to be I minus I1. Okay, I minus I1, right? Now this I1 goes over here. At this junction, it will be divided toward this side and this side. So if this current we consider as I2, then this current will be I1 minus I2. Now this current I2 comes over here, and from here we have I minus I1. Both the currents will be added to at this junction and will have I minus I1 plus I2. Now here, or this current and this current will be added. Just add them. I1 minus I2 plus I minus I1 plus I2. Minus I1 plus I1 cancelled out, plus I2 minus I2 cancelled out. Only we are left with I only. So I current will go through this branch. Okay, one more thing I should have discussed in the starting only. This circuit looks like Wheatstone bridge, but it is actually not. It is not a Wheatstone bridge. Why I am saying so? Why I am saying so? Because just see the ratio: 10 is to 5, 5 is to 10. 10 is to 5, 2 is to 1, 5 is to 10, 1 is to 2. Ratio is just reverse. So this is basically a condition of unbalanced Wheatstone bridge. It is the condition of unbalanced Wheatstone bridge. Okay, unbalanced Wheatstone bridge. Okay, it's not looking nice. More bit makeup is required. So this is what this point was. A, B, C. Okay. I minus I1, take okay. Everything is alright. Now what we need to do? We need to apply Kirchhoff's law, and we need to find out what is the value of I1, I2 and I3. Sorry, I1 and I2, and then we can solve the equation. We can apply it for the loop. Equations will be made. We'll solve the equation and get the value of I1 and I2. Let us start. The first loop I am going to take is loop A, B, D, A. A, B, D, A. So this will be go like this. Okay. Loop A, B, D, A. Now from A to B if we go, so basically we are going in the direction of current. We are going plus to minus. I have not put the sign, let us put it. Plus minus, plus minus, plus minus, plus minus, plus minus, plus minus. Okay. Now we are moving plus to minus. So basically what will happen? We'll put minus sign. And what is the current over here? I1. Okay. Now B to D. Plus to minus, minus. 5 I2. D to A. It will become minus to plus, plus 5 in bracket I minus I1 is equal to what? 0. This is the first equation we get. Now just solve it for I1. Minus 10 I1 minus 5 I1, it will become minus 15 I1. Okay. Minus 5 I2. And no I2, no another I2 is there, so 5 I2 is equal to plus 5 I will be transferred that side. it will become minus 5i. Okay, if we multiply with a minus sign, we'll get, and we divide it by 5, we'll get 3i1 plus i2 is equal to I. Let this be your equation number 1. Okay. Now we are going to take second loop. This loop BCDB. Loop BCDB. When we go B to C, we are going plus to minus. We should write minus I1 minus I2 into 5. So basically let us write 5 here. Now from C to D, minus to plus, plus 10. Current is I minus I1 plus I2. From D to B, minus to plus, we should write plus, how much? 5. And what is the current flowing through it? I2. Plus 5, I2 is equal to 0. Okay, now collect all the I1 and I2s are together. So if we take I1 minus 5 I1 from here, plus 10 plus and minus will become minus 10 I1, minus 5 I1, minus 10 I1. It will become minus 15 I1. For I2, minus and minus will become plus 5 I2, plus 10 I2, plus 5 I2. It will become 5 plus 10, 15 plus 5, 20 I2 is equal to, what is the I we are getting here? 10i. 10i is transferred to that side, it will become minus 10i. Okay. Now divided by minus 5, we will have 3i1 plus no, it will become minus 4i2 is equal to 2i. This is your equation number 2. Now solve equation number 1 and 2 for I. Okay, we are going to calculate the value of I1 and I2 in terms of I only. So if we subtract equation number 2 minus equation number 1, 3i1 minus 3i1 0, minus 4i1 minus I2, it will become minus 5i2, 2i minus I, it will become I. Okay, 2 minus 1 are done. 4i2 minus I2, it will become minus 5i2. 2i minus I, it will become I. So what is the value of I2 here? So I2 is minus I by 5. Equation number 3. From the value of I2, now calculate I1 in terms of I. And just put this value, I upon 5, in any of the equation, in either 1 or either 2. So what we are going to have? From 1, I am putting it in 1. From 1. Okay. So it will become 3i1 plus I2. So I2 is minus I by 5. Minus I by 5 is equal to I. Now this is transferred to that side. It will become 3i1 is equal to I plus I by 5. It will become 6i by 5. 3 will cut 6 2 times. So basically I1 will be equal to what? 2i by 5. It is equation number 4. Okay. So what are the values we have got? Because no space is there, I have to remove some things. Okay. Or I can solve something over here. Okay. Now what I am going to do? I am going to apply Kirchhoff's law in the bottom one. In the bottom circuit. Okay. In the bottom circuit. Is it clear? So now I am going to apply loop. Let's start from here. A, D, C. Then after cell and then after A. So for the cell I am writing B. Okay? And then after A. If we apply it, then what will get? From A to D, plus to minus, it will become minus, and it will become I minus I1 into 5. Then plus to minus, it will become minus, and it is I minus I1 plus I2 into what? 10. Then after we'll move for the cell, it will become plus 10 because we are moving minus to plus, and now we are again moving plus to minus. So minus 10i is equal to 0. This is the equation. Now we'll put the value of I1 over here. I1 is 2i by 5. So I minus 2i by 5, it will become 3i by 5. So minus 3i by 5. Are you able to understand? Yes, just see. I1 is equal to 2i by 5. Put over here. Okay. So what will happen? 2i by 5. 5 will be LCM. So it will become 5i minus 2i. It will become 3i by 5. Multiply by 5. Is 5 already there? Minus. I minus I1. Let me write. I minus 2i by 5 plus I2. What is I2? I2 is minus I by 5. So it is minus I by 5 into what? 10. Plus 10 minus 10i is equal to 0. Okay. Now just see. Minus 2i by 5 minus I by 5, it will become minus 3i by 5. 5 minus 5i minus 3i, it will become 2i by 5. Here 5 and 5 will be cancelled out. What will have? Minus 3i. Here it will become minus 5i minus 3i become 2i upon 5 into 10. So let me write 5 2s are 10. It will become 4i. Okay. Minus 10i is equal to minus 10. Minus 3i minus 4i minus 10i. It will become minus 17i is equal to minus 10. Minus and minus will be cancelled out. I is equal to what? 10 upon 17 ampere. Okay. I is equal to 10 upon 17 ampere. And if I is known, can we get the value of I1? What is the value of I1 in that case? 2i by 5. 2i by 5. 2 by 5 multiplied by this. So it will become 5, 2 by 5 into 10 upon 17. 5 2s are 10. 4 upon 17 ampere. And what is the value of I2? It is minus I by 5. It will become minus 2 by 17 ampere. 5 will cut 10 2 times. So we have I, we have I1, we have I2 now. Now what we need to do, we need to calculate the current in the branches. Just see over here, in this branch the current I1 is there, in this branch I1 minus I2, we have to solve that. In this branch it is minus I2, so it simply means the value of I2 is negative. It simply means the direction of current we assume, it is actually direction of current we assume from B to D, but the answer is negative. What this negative means? The negative means that the current will go from D to B, not from B to D. Okay? So we have the value of I, I1 and I2, and we can calculate the current in the branches. Let us calculate. As I told, let us calculate the current in the branches. So I have to remove these things. You need to understand the method to write the values of current. Okay. Because in Kirchhoff's law question, current is being asked. Okay. Okay. Let us write the first one. What is the current through CA? CA. Current through CA. We have assumed to be I, and the value of I is 10 upon 17 ampere. Now the current which is flowing through AB, IAB, we have assumed to be I1, and value of I1 is what? 4 upon 17 ampere. Now the current B to C, BC, we have assumed to be I1 minus I2. It will become 4 upon 17, minus and minus will become plus 2 upon 17. Minus it was there. So what we are going to have? 6 upon 17 ampere. Okay. A to D, I, AD. IAD was I minus I1. What is I? 10 upon 17. What is I1? 4 upon 17. What we are going to have? 6 upon 17 ampere. Okay. Now BD I, but it is negative, so we should write DB DB, and it will be minus I2, and if you put minus over there, it will become what? 2 upon 17 ampere. How many currents we have written? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more current is left. IDC. IDC. I minus I1 plus I2. I minus I1 plus I2. What is the value of I? It is 10 upon 17. What is the value of I1? It is 4 upon 17. And what is the value of I2? It is minus 2. So basically it will become minus 2 upon 17. Okay, 2 upon 17. 4 plus 2 it will become 6. 10 minus that, it will become 4 upon 17 ampere. IDC. So these are the values, 6 currents. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 only we have calculated? No, it is 6. 6 values of currents are there. So you need to write the values of current in this manner. Okay. Now one more very interesting fact is there. What is the current flowing through AB? AB. 4 upon 17 ampere. And what is the current flowing from DC? 4 upon 17 ampere. Whatever the value of current is flowing from 10 ohm, the same value of current is flowing from DC also. Similarly, what is the current flowing from AD? IAD? 6 upon 17. And what is the current flowing from BC? IBC? 6 upon 17. So this 6 upon 17 and this 6 upon 17 are equal. So current flowing through this and this are equal. So actually this is a special case, and it is the unbalanced Wheatstone bridge. But a special case of unbalance when the ratio is just reverse. Just see, 10:5, the ratio is 2:1. Here the ratio is 5:10, 1:2. Okay, ratio is just reverse. So in that case, in the next question, whenever you solve, what will you do? Just apply, if this current is I1, then this current needs to be I1. If this current I2, then this current needs to be I2. Okay, so it will save you time. It will save your time. Okay, so this is all about this question. It was a very lengthy one, but it is there in the syllabus. Okay, now let us solve 3.10. It is regarding the meter bridge. So this is the question 3.10. Figure is given. It is given that the balance point is found to be at 39.5 centimeter. L is equal to 39.5 centimeter. From the end A, when the resistor Y is of 12.5 ohm. When the resistor Y is of 12.5 ohm, and this is from A. This length is given. Now, question is, determine the value of X. What is the value of X? This is your first part. Second part says that why are the connection between the resistor and the Wheatstone bridge is made of thick copper strips. Why these thick copper strips are there? Now second part starts. Determine the value of balance point of the bridge if X and Y are interchanged. In place of X it is Y, in place of Y it is X. Then balance point you need to find out. What happens if the galvanometer and cell are interchanged when balance point of the meter bridge? Would the galvanometer show any current? Okay. Where is the question? What do we know? We know that X upon this very length is equal to Y upon this very length. Value of X to be known. So Y into L upon 100 minus L. Just put the values. X will be equal to what? 12.5 multiplied by the length L is given 39.5 upon 100 minus 39.5. How much it will be? 12 multiplied by 39.5 upon 100 minus 39.5. if you subtract it, then how much will have? If it would have been 40, that will be 60. Now out of 60, 59.9. Okay, 59.5. Sorry. So this will be like this. Okay. So basically, you have to solve this. We'll get the value of x. Now the other question, conceptual question, is why that copper strips are made. Thick copper strips are there. So actually, thick copper strips are there because copper is a good conductor. Thickness. The reason behind the thickness is if a metal is thick, its cross section is more, then its resistance will be less. Okay, that's why it is thick. Why copper is being used? Because copper is a good conductor. Second part of the question, if x and y are interchanged, if y goes over there, x goes over there, then obviously L will also get interchanged. Okay, so from the A, the length will be 59.5. Okay, from C it will be like this. Other question is, if what happens if the cell and the galvanometers are interchanged, there will be no effect on the balance point. Because just see, if cell is applied over here, if cell is like this and galvanometer is over here, then what will happen? Now just try to understand. From here the current will go, it will divide x and y. Then after, it will go in this wire. Okay, if cell and galvanometers are interchanged, basically they will make no difference. You can understand this by this diagram. If this is the galvanometer and this is the cell, if they get interchanged, then it will be like, here it is cell, here is the resistance, here is the resistance, here is the resistance, here is the resistance, and here the galvanometer is there. How the balance condition you will define over here? If this is P, this is Q, this is R, this is S. P upon Q is equal to R upon S. This side of the galvanometer and this side of the galvanometer. Now here, if this is in between these 2 points, the galvanometer is connected. Between these 2 points. If this is P, this is Q, this is R, this is S. So between these 2 points, the galvanometer was connected earlier. These 2 points. So below this point, above this point, Q upon S is equal to P upon R, which is same. Like if it is P upon Q is equal to R upon S, between these 2 points, Q upon S is equal to P upon R. Q upon S is equal to P upon R. Just see, these are the same equations are there. Q can be transferred over there, so R can be transferred over here. You can get the value of the same. If the cell and the galvanometers are interchanged, then there will be no effect on the balance point. Okay. So this is all from my side, right? We have reached to the question number 10. So many other questions are there, but I am leaving those questions up to you. So solve those questions. Let me know whether you are able to solve or not, and then after we will discuss if it is required. Okay. From tomorrow, I will start the next chapter. The next chapter is magnetic effect of current. Okay. Chapter number 4. Okay. So this is all for the day. Thank you.